Okay. Take 55. Okay. Today we're going to show you guys how we process Backstrap and get this in ready-made meals for our kids. We'll take you all the way from the point where we pulled this out of the freezer, thawed it out, and now it's time to take the sinew off, cue it up, get it fried and battered and fried, and then in the freezer. So, all right, here we go. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, get a close up of that. First thing I'm going to do is remove this sinew from this meat. And we've already done about 45 pounds of this meat, but we had some technical difficulties on our first video. So microphones, camera quitting, and some other stuff, but we're getting there. This all started, we were actually processing years ago. We had our family place was the hub for local deer hunters, and they'd bring their meat in, and we'd all process it together, just as kind of part of the community. And a guy took part of the backstrap home to his grandmother, and she was kind enough to fry it up and batter it and fry it and take in. This is the scraps, and this is where the backstrap's going. Hope so, because sometimes I throw the backstrap in with the scraps. We don't want to do that. But anyways, she was kind enough to fry us up some backstrap and make homemade biscuits and feed us all. So after I get the sinew off, like most of the sinew is off of this piece right here, I'll cut it up into these little steaks like this, and then I'll butterfly these steaks like that just a little bit. You can see that. I like to do that, and that way the batter, these things will cook fairly even, and then the batter will actually go down into those cuts. That's just me. I like a little extra batter on there. Being from the South, that's what we like. And all the scraps we give to our dogs, they greatly appreciate them. The other video, we had 6 hours worth of video in that one. I'm hoping to, it took us, that was how long it took to process that 45 pounds from beginning to end. That was all the way through the vacuum sealing portion of that too. Pretty good video, but we ended up losing the audio on it. When I cut this back strap, I cut it in this way for a reason, because the grain of this meat is running this way. And then I'll butterfly it like that. And that way, when you take a bite out of that meat, you're going to bite down into that grain and pull the grain apart. Instead of trying to pull the grain long ways, you're going to actually break that meat fiber and go that way. So that's why I cut it like that. It makes it a little easier to chew. All right, so the next part, after we get the meat, the sinew off the meat, get it cut up in the steaks, is I'm going to take and mix a couple of eggs in here with this meat. It's usually about 1 egg per 3 pounds of meat, somewhere around there. Depends on how fluffy you want your batter to be. But I mix the eggs directly in with the meat. This is about 5 pounds of meat, so I'm gonna put 2 eggs in there with the meat, and then I'll take, you see that in there, I'm gonna take and mix that up in there real good, like that. And if you can still kind of see a yellow consistency, I don't know if that'll show up on that camera, then it's about right. Now this is just how. Okay, so we're getting our seasonings ready. I put some salt in there already, and I put some onion powder in there already, and a little bit of red pepper. I still got to put some garlic in there. I don't measure any of this stuff, so it's just kind of however you like the seasoning or whatever. But this is paprika. We'll put a little bit of that in there, and some chili powder that I almost forgot a while ago. So then I'll just kind of mix that up. Come here and give them a little bit closer look at what we got going on here, of what it'll look like once it's mixed up. And something else I forgot, I got to get some black pepper. So what did I do? I love black pepper in there. That would have been bad. I was going to say, you can almost tell, to me, like if I can still see specks of black pepper in there after I get it mixed up, that it's about ready. You want to show them what it looks like, the final here. Nah. So for me, that's about what it should look like when it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and move that out of the way. If I mix up another batch, I'll move all that stuff over. So now I'll take this meat that we've already mixed with eggs and stuff, and I'll take these pieces, and I'll actually, when I put it in here, I'll press it down, and I press on it so hard that it kind of flattens it out. It also tenderizes it as I do it. But I want to make sure when it comes out of here that there is not a spot on that, even like that still shows a little bit of moisture. I like to see it about like that. So I'll just keep doing that until I get it all done. Go. Okay. You ready? Go. All right. So the next leg of this is to actually fry this beautiful meat. And what I like to do, we've already got the olive oil, the extra virgin olive oil, however that works in life, I don't really know, but we've got it heated up. It's been heating up quite a bit, but I'll just take and thump a little bit of water in there, and if it pops, I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. You hear that? Hear that good popping? That means that oil's hot enough to kind of seal that meat when I put it in there. So you want to come get a shot of this, Drennan? So I like to have enough oil just where it's over the top of the meat. And if I'm frying a lot, like we did the other day when we attempted to make our first video, I'll have all 4 burners going and 4 cast iron skillets going all at the same time. But tonight, we're only processing this 5 pounds. But just to make 50 pounds that we processed this year. But we did the other 45 in one run, so. And I'm multitasking as I do this. I'm frying the meat and cutting that meat, battering it and all that. As this stuff is working, I'll get a batch going in here. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so this meat's about ready to flip over. Come over here and give them a shot of that, Junior. So that's about what it'll look like when it's ready to roll over in the old frying pan and brown the other side. You almost want it to where it's still got a little bit of blood, I guess, kind of percolating out of the top of it. Starting off. So, all right, so the first batch is ready to come out. You don't want to overcook it, but it'll be nice and golden brown like that when it's ready to come out. And I like putting it on a napkin or a paper towel. It seems to help absorb some of that olive oil. Yeah, I'll just keep doing this until we get it all out of there. Okay, so we're at the next leg of this journey. We are now fixing to vacuum seal this meat. I want to show you guys. Come over here and get a look at this. We got everything fried and all that good stuff. So this is kind of what the meat should look like on the inside. You don't want it just white where it's overcooked. Deer meat's a little on the pink side since it's such a lean meat. It's better. Now, all this is my personal opinion. I'm not a professional chef. I'm just some redneck on YouTube trying to tell you how to cook deer meat. So I have cooked a lot of it, and I cook it the way I like it. So you may not like it that way, but most people do like it like that. But we'll get a bag of deer meat or backstrap packed up here, which it is deer meat. And I've already pre-sealed these bags and all that. And I try to get this is about the right size for us to consume. This will be enough for me and the kids. And I'll press it down in there real good. Something else I'll have to do is that oil, if you're not careful, it will not seal that oil in there when you stick it in the vacuum sealer. I have been very blessed with vacuum sealers. I think I bought one at the thrift store for like $5, and I've had several given to me. But so I'll get that seal. Let me show them this. Make sure that seal is really, where you're going to come in here and melt that thing. Make sure it's good and clean. All right, so then we'll stick it in there. This job really sucks. You get it? Really sucks.
I got it.
All right. So that is one. You ready? You ready? All right. Thank you guys for watching, and God bless.